question for you with regards to the token supply and how much is distributed to users who participate in a snapshot. They're not getting 100% of the tokens immediately. Can you tell us about the breakdown, the percentages, and why the question came up of why not 100%?
Sure. So let me give you the breakdown more generally, and then cover how we think the distribution will work. Mm-hmm. So the breakdown is there's about 80 billion tokens that are going to essentially the community and the developers and the foundation. So that's a sequence of how much is being delivered to the community, how much is going out in grants, how much is going to the foundation, and then there's 20 billion tokens which is going into a pool for a certain incentive pool to be used in the future with protocols that request that through a governance vote. So you can think of the token supply as 80 billion plus 20 billion that may be used for incentives down the line. Mm-hmm. Of that 80 billion, there's a certain distribution to customers. Sorry, not customers, users, essentially token holders. And they're getting 15% of that at day one. And there's then two paths. There's the existing path, which is essentially enshrined in the technical setup of the chain, whereby it would be distributed in equal amounts over the following 36 months to the existing recipients. We've had a lot of questions about, is that the optimal way to do it? We've also had a lot of exchanges that really don't want to have to distribute a token over 36 months. They want it done once. And so there's, I think also in light of exchange problems, as a token holder, you probably don't want to have a relationship with an exchange for 36 months. So there's a governance vote called FIP01, so Flare Improvement Proposal 1, and that lays out a change to the way the token distribution would work. So essentially the same amount that is being distributed monthly would be distributed, but it would be distributed to people that wrap tokens, wrap Flare.
Right.
And that has a number of effects. One, it means that the full supply does not hit the market on day one, which could be seen as beneficial, as there's a lot of sort of aspects of how you build a community over time. If you look at, say, Bitcoin, it's been extremely successful because its tokens didn't all arrive in the market on day one. It sort of had this halving mechanism whereby it had a very high inflation rate, halved it, and that kind of helped build the community over a very long time. It's in fact still ongoing. And so we're looking sort of in a way to replicate that, such that those that essentially use the Flare token become a larger part of the community, and those that don't use the Flare token and are essentially passive in the network become a smaller part of the community. And from my perspective, that's a very desirable thing to have, because a community is only a blockchain, and a community is only as useful as the community that are using it. And so if there's a sort of passive group of individuals, they don't necessarily add value to the network. So we have this minimum thing that people need to do in order to be able to be part of the future of Flare, and that is to wrap their tokens for 36 months. It also allows new entrants to the network. That's incredibly important to me, such that if you obtain Flare through any mechanism, you essentially also get the same rights as anyone else to wrap that token and to be a larger part of Flare in the future.
Mission Control, we have liftoff.